It's time for the Terry Riggs Show. Find out each week what's going on inside Forest Park Ranger football. Exclusively on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
Welcome to the Drew Messmer Show on the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network. Join us each week as we go inside Forest Park basketball with head coach Drew Messmer. Now for the Drew Messmer Show on the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
Hey everyone, Joey Chestnut here, world champion competitive eater. I follow Southwest Indiana Sports Network, and if you're hungry for sports, you should follow them too.
Follow the Southwest Indiana Sports Network at swisportsnetwork.com or search Roku for our channel at SW Indiana Sports Network.
Hello and welcome to the Terry Riggs Show. Coach, last week you took on the North Posey Vikings. You came out 41-27 loser to end your season, but I'll tell you what, you played North Posey good twice. Why don't you recap that game for us?
Yeah, going into it, we knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew ahead of time, or had anticipated 33 would be back. Overall, it didn't change our game plan too much. Obviously going into it, playing them well the first time, we were confident that we'd make it a good game and hopefully come out on top. I think we had some missed opportunities in the first half. We dropped a touchdown pass and settled for 3 points. Defensively, a couple misfits, and they're off to the races. But and to end the second half, it was 20-17 coming out of the gate. We marched down the field and come out. Again, we come out with a field goal. So now it's tied 20-20, and somewhere within the next about 7-8 minutes we kick it. They have a nice kickoff return for a touchdown. And it almost drained our momentum, our mood, and that's one of the things we're trying to change and get over the hump, if you will, is when something doesn't go our way, we got to be able to respond to it. And they had a couple good touchdowns there in the second half. We had one ourselves, but I think we left a little more out there than what the scoreboard showed. We had a touchdown called back. Dropping the touchdown, we dropped a crucial 4th and 6. We false start on a 4th and 1. Going for it. So now it's 4th and 6. Got a punt. North Posey is a really good football team. They're very well coached, and congratulations to those guys, and I hope they make it far. But we got some things to clean up here at Forest Park, and some of that is getting over the mental health hump of like I said previously, when things don't go our way, it doesn't mean that the world is ending. So very proud of our guys for fighting, and I think if you were to look back at week 1, even though we won, we didn't play a good second half, and we're still trying to, hopefully next year, get to the point where we do put four quarters together and, be able to respond to a little bit more adversity than what we have. But I have seen a lot of improvement from our guys, and I'm very proud of them for how they have progressed this year.
And, I know that the record might not be what you and the kids want, but I'll tell you what, looking at your roster this morning, I saw a lot of young kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, our top 4 tacklers on defense were all 15 years or younger, 2 or 3 sophomores and 2 or 3 freshmen. And pretty similar offensively. We have a couple juniors, leading the way, and a couple sophomores, and Jackson Lincoln being a freshman. You look at our offensive line and, our linebackers, we're all really young. We had to move some pieces around. We went into Friday night starting only one senior. You look at something like that, and we gain valuable experience moving forward. It's just, kind of sucks, for lack of better words, for those seniors and, only going out with one win. But I hope they took a lot from this season in terms of adversity and can apply it to, wherever they are, wherever they want to go in life.
And, I'm not using this as an excuse for you, but, playing in the Pocket Athletic Conference isn't the easiest thing in the world to do.
No, absolutely not. And like I said before, it's very, very, very competitive. And, you look at some of the scores, after your game or whatever the case may be. And, South Spencer is playing Tecumseh, obviously a really good football team, very tight, 35-27. You just look around and you're like, wow, there's some really good football teams in the PSC, and once Tecumseh officially joins next year, I only anticipate them adding value to it and, competing, all of us competing for that small school title.
And, I was talking to Coach Buning the other day about the sectional, and, his sectional, he might be playing Heritage Hills in the championship game of the sectional, which we all hope that both two PAC teams. But then I looked at the regional thing and who did he play PAC and regional, and I come to realize that with the way regional is set up this year, you're not going east-west, you're going north basically for regional, and so he wouldn't even play I think in the other sectional there's like 5 or 6 PAC teams, mm-hmm. and none of those, he would not play any of those until the semi-state.
Yeah, no, it's pretty wild how some of the things align and how things play out, when it comes to the sectional draw and things like that. And, the South Ridge Heritage Hills, a battle of 2 really good football teams and 2 really good football coaches who, represent the PAC extremely well, and have for hell longer than I've been coaching. So, it's nice to see, and I really hope one of those 2 teams go super far. And, even on the big school side with, with Heritage Hills, obviously if they go a little further, or, Gibson facing a really good Owen Valley team this Friday, hopefully they are able to, keep things moving as well. But, like you said, PAC is super competitive, and it's super fun to be involved with it.
And you're listening to the Terry Riggs Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosford Communications. We'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome to the Drew Messmer Show on the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network. Join us each week as we go inside Forest Park basketball with head coach Drew Messmer. Now for the Drew Messmer Show on the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
When you think sporting goods, think no further than All Star Sports in Ferdinand. Custom embroidery, screen printing, team uniforms, sports equipment, and sports apparel and shoes. We have it all. Give Brad a call today at 812-367-1618 or visit them in the Country Plaza Shopping Center in Ferdinand. All Star Sports is open Monday through Friday 10 to 7 and Saturday 9 to 4. All Star Sports, when you're thinking sporting goods.
Hey everyone, Joey Chestnut here, world champion competitive eater. I follow Southwest Indiana Sports Network, and if you're hungry for sports, you should follow them too.
Follow the Southwest Indiana Sports Network at swisportsnetwork.com or search Roku for our channel at SW Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Terry Riggs Show. And Coach, you know, it's always sad at the end of the season. You're always having to say goodbye to the seniors. And, you know, you had an eight seniors this year, a great group. And I'd like to mention each one of them. Maybe you could comment on each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The first one being Clay Acker.
Oh, you know, Clay, obviously a really good person. He played cornerback for us this year and was that third wing going in, kind of slot receiver kind of player. He, got injured against Tell City. You know, he was about half a foot away from making the tackle and tore his ACL, and a few other things in his knee. But, having him there on the sidelines and, during practice when he got out of surgery and things like that, invaluable. So, Clay plans on, he's kind of deciding between, trying to play at the next level and, studying business somewhere else. So very excited for Clay.
Next, we've got Jaden Sheeter.
Jaden Sheeter is a kid who he hasn't played football in 3 or 4 years. So you look at, like our linebacker depth, we had 0 years of varsity experience. The football experience was there. It's just, Jaden hadn't played in a couple of years. He was, the only senior who started last Friday. He provided us, offensively as a tight end, and defensively we moved him back and forth between linebacker and defensive end. And I'll tell you this, an amazing young man, and obviously you could say this about each one of these guys, but he so passionate, so caring about his teammates, about coaches, about his family. And, he's someone who's going to, represent Forest Park community really well moving forward.
And Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith played left guard and defensive tackle for us. A guy who, again, we moved around just a tad bit, because of other injuries, and, pretty selfless in that regard. And he is, studying to become a pilot. So, postgraduate plans are to go to Vincennes University in Indianapolis and, go to flight school. And I know he's done some things over in Huntingburg already, but I think that suits him very well. And, again, a piece of the puzzle, that we have to try and find a replacement for.
And next we've got Braden Beck.
Braden Beck, he served sort of as a role player, really good kid. He, came in at defensive tackle when needed, went in at center. He also long snapped for us. So, even last game, not having him, having to find a new long snapper, kind of put us in a bind. But, he is very excited about joining the workforce as soon as he is done here. And again, another guy who's going to represent Forest Park really well.
Jate Merriman.
Jate, he played right tackle and defensive tackle for us. Another kid who unfortunately went out a little bit early. He, about week 5 or 6, he had to have labrum surgery. He still, stuck around, was around the guys. He's kind of in the air as to what he exactly wants to do. I know he wants to study technology and go into the IT world. So again, a guy who is almost irreplaceable in the respect, especially his size and his demeanor. But, he's one of those guys that we'll miss for sure.
And Keenan Irwin.
Keenan is another guy who hadn't played football in 3 years. So between him and Jaden, they hadn't played since 7th or 8th grade. But Keenan came in, and, you could sit back and say, oh, man, I wish those guys would have been here, when they were 14 years old, how much more of an impact they would have made on top of what they've already done. But Keenan, he is big into ministry. He brought almost an energetic voice to the team. He was always super excited during practice, kind of a vocal leader. He made some big plays for us at defensive end, and then he also stepped in. We moved him between guard and tackle multiple times, and just based on injuries and things like that. And another selfless person, another great person who's going to represent Forest Park super well. And, I think his ultimate goal is to go into ministry, and I think that is going to serve him extremely well in the people that he does serve.
And next up, we've got Reed Yoakum.
Oh, gosh. Reed Yoakum is an amazing young man. I can't say that enough. His character on and off the field is, second to none. And losing him, you could just tell our team took a hit. And, left tackle solidified, the left side of the line. And then defensive end, he made some huge plays for us. But it's more of his character, the off-the-field piece that gets me and, everybody else binded together, if you will. He was always there during practice on Friday nights. We even got him to, get involved in, breakdown of opponents and sort of gear him that way. He is, another kid who's trying to look at playing at the next level and, studying engineering. Rose Holman, I think, reached out. So, hopefully if that's what he wants to do, I really hope that works out for him. But, again, a guy that is irreplaceable on both sides of the ball, but especially on the sideline and as a person. So, I'm going to miss all these guys. It's never tough when you have to, say goodbye to those guys and you see their emotions after their last game, especially for those who couldn't play.
And lastly, we have Tristan Wire.
Tristan played linebacker and wing for us. He is another energy guy, very similar to Keenan. He plans on going to IU and studying accounting, and he hopes to, become a private accountant at some point, or personal accountant at some point in time. And I think that's going to fit him really well. Defensively, he offered us, the mental aspect of the game and, how offenses aligned and, what they did. And, it's just one of those things where, he hurt his shoulder again and had to come out for the rest of the year. But he was another guy who stuck around, was a vocal leader for us and, a really good piece of the puzzle on the sideline for us. And, just like I said, you never want to have to say goodbye. And like I told them, I hope this is, one of the toughest things that they have to go through, and knowing that, life is going to be a little bit harder than, playing your last down of football, for those that are. But, it's a group that will be missed and, who left an impact, especially for the upcoming freshmen, sophomore, and juniors. So I'm very thankful for those guys. Getting a new coach in mid-July or early July, whatever it was, is never easy. And sitting down with them that first day, I could tell they were very motivated, ready to get things going. But, like I said before, I wish we could have pulled out a few more for them. But I hope they learned quite a few things, in going through our adversities that they can apply in real life.
And, I don't want to date myself, but I'm 59 years old, and I still remember taking off my jersey for the last time. And the thing about football is something that you if you're not going up to college, you're basically done. And it's always that tough. And I'm sure these guys are going to remember the last time they took off their jersey too.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, it's something that you can't replicate. You can always go out there and play. Pick up football, but it's just not the same. You can always go play basketball and, baseball and tennis and golf, but, football is one of those things that when you take those pads off for the last time, it's very emotional. Obviously everybody remembers their time, but it's, and eventually becomes something that you appreciate, and I really hope that's what it becomes for them. Like I said, I hope this is one of their, toughest things that they have to battle, but also know that life is going to be a lot harder than that, and hopefully they can appreciate everything that they've been through in the last 4 years, and especially this year.
Well, Coach, your sophomores are now juniors, and your juniors are now seniors. My one bit of what I see for you, for the Rangers, is bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we sat down and we ended meetings yesterday. It's unfortunate that we couldn't be sitting here practicing or game planning. And but, we have the end of season meetings with individuals. And, obviously as a team, I think every team in America can say bigger, faster, stronger. And, I hope they realize that they did gain a year of experience. And if we learn from it, that's got to be the biggest thing moving forward.
Well, Coach, until next year, work them hard.
Hey, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joe.
And you've been listening to the Terry Riggs Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Brosper Communications. We'll see you next year.